Hello everyone, this is Waldorf.
And this is Statler.
And today we're going to look at the Highborn Elves Army book.
Highborn Elves version 1.3.
0.4.
0.4?
I think the only difference between 0.3 and 0.4 was they took out the blue.
They removed the blue. There's no more blue.
text.
Correct. And so the army of the 4 balls.
3 balls.
There's one in the middle.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
it's a little ball.
It's the Highborn Elves.
It's the ball that holds all the
all the others together.
Yes.
Okay. So what do we got here? Let's go.
We have a cover page.
And I have a mouse that's not working. Why is that not scrolling? That's weird. Yeah, there we go. Ah, look at that. Woohoo!
All
right. Army special rules. We'll start with the martial discipline. If more than half of a unit's model has this special rule when taking a leadership test other than panic or break test, roll 1 additional d6 and remove the highest. This is a nice rule. I like this for elves. I really do. I hate playing against it, but I kind of think it fits, and I like it. It's a fluffy rule as well as a very useful rule.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, I like it a lot. Anyway.
It helps them with when they got to roll to...
terror checks, tons of stuff.
Terror checks, movements.
Used to be the reform, but now the march.
The march. It doesn't affect panic. Break, it's fine. Panic would be helpful, I think. It's a good rule.
It's a good rule. I like it. Anyway. And the Master of Balance, any Highborn Elves army that includes one or more model with this rule adds an additional +1 to channel.
Yes.
In the opponent's phase. Okay.
Yeah, it's a defensive one. I don't remember, the Dark Elf one didn't have a +1. Oh,
yeah,
they
have
did.
+1 to channel in their own
Correct.
phase.
You had to have something, yeah.
Right.
So another, elf thing to make them, in theory, better at magic. But
this is such a minor thing. But
yeah,
it's still there.
It's there. You might get an next one. Valiant. Models with special rule gain stubborn when in base contact with an enemy model with fear. Rank and file models with this rule gain bodyguard. Lord of the Seas. Bodyguard only applies to specific areas without a honor, unless that honor is royal huntsman.
Sounds a little convoluted.
Yeah, it's a bit convoluted, but yeah.
But anyway, okay.
It's specific, generally to a couple units in the army, so it's not really an army special rule. I actually kind of, they call things army special rules, and then only applies to 1 or 2 units. I'd just rather just put it with the unit.
Correct. I would much rather see that.
That way, if someone wants to look at it, they don't have to look in 2 different places. It's one thing when it applies to everything.
Right. So we'll start with the Armory. The first thing they have is Moonlight Arrows. When fired from a mundane bow or longbow, Moonlight Arrows gain Strength 4, magic attacks, and flaming. Those are nice.
The best arrows in the game, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, they are the best of the shooting army, right?
Sorry?
High elves are the shooting army, right?
They're supposed to be relatively shooty. Yeah. It's only a specific unit that gets them, but
correct.
They are. But to me, it's the best. A Strength 4 arrow at all ranges.
Strength 4 magic flaming. Yeah, that's good.
And your flaming and your magic. So yeah, it's shoot some guy in a field or
Yep, suited some trolls.
Yeah, ethereal guys. Yeah, whatever. It's a really nice arrow because you don't have the. It's basically the same as a bolt thrower or handgun without the movement problems.
Correct.
Yeah.
All right. What else? Bitter arrows.
Bitter arrows, when fired from a mundane bow or longbow, you may choose. This is a very important thing, to exchange volley fire for poison attacks.
Okay.
So if you got guys, in the middle, you get to do volley fire if you want to. If you want to, target a specific monster that you're lined up against or whatever, you get your poison attacks.
Nice to have the option.
So this is another arrow for a specific unit, which we'll get to.
Okay.
Yeah, they're fine. Poison's not what it used to be.
Why?
It's still good. It used to be a good way to get rid of war machines. Now they have more wounds. Yeah. And then monsters didn't used to have so much armor. So you see most monsters have some kind of protection now.
Most armors did have very light armor.
Yeah, and that's some of the creep that you've seen in the game is something would be pretty good, like poison was too good, so they started giving monsters armor. So yeah,
Right.
and then you started seeing them trying to get poison reduced because it was too good, but you already compensated, but you didn't take away the compensation. So
Right.
yeah, so I think there's a bit of this.
A little creep there. You're
Yeah, that I'm hoping that they deal with when they look at all the army books is pull back a lot of the creep in different stats and different abilities that were done for one reason, and you took away one to nerf it, but you left the other counter
Correct.
in place. You see that for a lot of things, I think.
Next, they have Dragon Forged Armor, which is heavy armor that gains Fireborn and a ward save 6-up. So 6-up ward save, 2-up versus fire.
Yeah, it kind of
Nice.
makes you Kingdom of Equitane Knight.
I guess so, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean you don't get the
Better against
5
fire,
up against
nothing against high
certain
strength.
circumstances, depending on which token you chose. Did you pick the right one? But generally, it's always going to give you 6 up. So yeah.
All right, what do we have? Honors.
And we have the honors, and basically these can be taken by Highborn Elf characters, and it's a way to give them different boosts. The Master of the Canreig, I don't know, Canreig,
Canreig. I don't know.
Canreig Tower. I don't know. 120 points, not cheap, but not super expensive. You only have one of them. Models on foot only. You gain the Sword Sworn. So basically the Sword Master special rules. Which I think is +1 to hit, and I think that's all you get. I don't remember.
Ignores parry or something.
Yeah, I think that's gone. I think it's +1 to hit now.
Is it? Okay.
I think we'll look when we get to it. Master of Balance, which helps you with for casting. Becomes a wizard apprentice that generates a spell from druidism, alchemy, or cosmetology, and knows one learned spell from the chosen path. So basically, you're a basic wizard that has one. This was the guy I think that had the eightfold before. It always knows the trait spell from druidism and may choose. So what? And may choose to generate spells from more than one path. I don't know why they.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But you have to note that in your army list.
Yes, correct.
So you can't change it based on your opponent.
Yeah, chosen path and how many spells from each path must be noted in your army list. Can that be combined with Essence of the Free Mind? It's only on foot, said that already. You may add up to 3 learned spells. So you can't make him a wizard master. You can keep him as a present, but he's a fighty. This is on a lord, not on a mage. So basically you have a fighty guy who can cast spells.
Okay. All right. And it counts to 120 points, which is cheaper than a mage.
Yeah, and you got it on a much more survivable guy.
Yeah.
And
that's kind of odd.
And it's probably something you don't want to give him too many spells because you really want to have some surety. You don't want to blow him up.
Right.
But I I always like when you can do that with a character.
Yep.
As long as you don't give him too many spells, so he blows himself up and he throws points down the toilet.
Next thing we have is the Prince of Rima.
Which are basically the mounted guys.
Mounted guys, high prince only. Mm-hmm. The bear gains devastating charge.
Did you say the bear?
The bearer. The bear gains a devastating charge.
Okay.
Look out for a bear.
The Gumi Bon.
No choices from the Peacekeepers category may be taken in this army. The limit on ancient allies is increased to 25%. The limit on characters is increased to 45%.
Right. So you get more characters. You don't get. I think that's bolt throwers and the maybe the Sea Guard.
More
guys.
characters, more ancient allies.
From the Peacekeepers, I mean.
Oh, no
Yeah.
Peacekeepers. Okay.
Yeah.
No Peacekeepers.
And ancient allies, I think, are the monsters, right? The phoenixes,
probably.
I think. Yeah.
I would bet. The model must take one of the following mounts: Elven Horse, and he gets a horse for free.
Mm-hmm.
And this costs 80 points. Wow.
Which is the price of a horse for a lord.
Okay. Elven Horse for free, Young Dragon for 390, and a Big Dragon for 500.
Right.
All right.
Fleet Officer. 40 points. Kind of cheap. Reason for it. The bear gains a steady aim. CC Guard's core unit, which I believe just means they get...
Move and shoot, I think.
Yeah.
Quick to fire.
Quick to fire, thank you. And Weapons Master, okay, may buy any number of mundane weapons.
Okay.
If you're going to spend it too much if you do that. Better off buying a magic weapon. If the model is on foot, the model's unit may perform a combat reform whenever it is successfully charged.
That's nice.
That is really nice.
That's actually huge.
It's very huge, yes.
You get charged in the flank and boom, that wasn't the flank charge.
Sorry, you didn't get me in the rear.
Oh, wow, that's really nice.
Yeah. This combat reform is performed after all charges against the model's unit have been resolved and follows the normal rules for combat reforms.
So if you're hitting two sides,
if you're hitting two sides, you can't do it. But
still,
but a single charge, and the rear is.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, and this guy happens to be in the unit.
For 40 points, that's if you're not giving me something else, that's really nice.
I think frankly, the Highborn Elves, many of these are so good. Your problem is the stuff costs so much that choices have to be made.
Yeah, this is only 40 though.
Yes. On top of the cost of the characters.
Yeah. But it's got two mount options, which I don't think you take on this guy.
Yeah, you got the giant.
He can ride an eagle?
Eagle. Yeah, so what?
Can anybody else ride an eagle?
The regular guy can.
Okay.
Sky sloop. Now that the sky sloop can't have, which you'll see, can't have the firing weapon with the character. It's not what it was. He can ambush.
Yeah, I don't think I want a guy on foot to ambush.
It doesn't say he has to be on foot.
Yeah, it does. Commander on foot.
Oh, it's to ambush. Yes.
Yeah, I don't think I want him.
No.
I mean, I guess that means you can put him with the Sea Guard unit, which has ambush.
Yeah, they seem now to be in the best use for them.
Sea Guard. Sorry.
Yeah. His best unit seems to be with a unit to give him that ability.
I like him though. I like 40 points for this guy.
Yeah, I like him too.
If you have the points.
Yeah.
Next we have the High Warden of the Flame.
Mm-hmm.
The bearer gains a ward save 4-up.
Always a nice thing.
Yeah. Immune to psychology, magic resistance 1, and divine attacks, and gains magic attacks. Divine attacks is probably worth about 20 points. Magic attacks probably another 10, 20.
Mm-hmm.
And
ward saves 100.
So 140.
Psychology is.
Yes, that's a mixed bag.
It's a mixed bag.
So it's nice though, but this is giving you the ward save outside of your magic item points, which is a big thing.
Yeah.
Anytime you can get it outside of that.
Yeah.
And may only take take the following mounts: a Fire Phoenix or a Frost Phoenix.
Right.
This is nice. You know what? Yeah, this is nice. I'm seeing a lot of books did this in 9th edition. I mean, it used to be pretty much the Bretonnians and the vampires had these honors or whatever you want to call them.
Oh, the high elves had it in 8th edition too. Remember, they had the honors also. Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of this is copied from.
It just seems these are getting more widespread.
Well, you saw that more.
And the ogres, I guess, had big names before. Right. They still have them. Okay.
Right. And the Sylvan.
Maybe they're around more than I thought.
A lot of this, I don't, with the exception of maybe the beast herds, I haven't seen. I'll say most of it was evolution from the 8th books. If they had it there, people felt it still had to have it. So they put it in there in some way. So I don't think there's been.
There was a lot of that carryover.
I think it was more carryover. So so where people have added it, it's been. They may have done it in a different way, like they kind of with the vampire counts, but it was there in some capacity, with the exception of the beast herds, which gained all kinds of abilities.
We'll get to that some other day.
Yeah. Queen's Companion, only 40 points. Can only have 2 of them in an army. Models on foot. Model gains multiple shots, 3. And a model's unit gains quick to fire. You can...
Combine that with a good bow.
Yeah, I don't think there is a good bow that this works with. But because I think the one bow already has the multiple shots. I don't think you can stack those. I could be wrong. But and then you can take one. You can either be a scout. You can have the bitter arrows, which are the poison arrows. Or you can have the moonlight arrows. Scout and bitter arrows, I'm sorry. Or you can have the moonlight arrows, which are those fantastic strength 4 arrows.
Okay.
So if you want a shooting character, now here it doesn't say that it counts towards any shooting limit, so it's a way to get more strength 4 shots, I guess.
Okay. Royal Huntsman for 90 points. Model gains Valiant and Lion's Fur. See the Lion Guard special unit. But cannot take Dragon Forged armor.
What's the lion going to wear if he took his fur away from him?
Well, the lion's not in good shape if he took his fur away from him.
These Highborn Elves are mean.
When fighting with a great weapon, maybe they only take that when they get really old and die. When fighting with a great weapon, the bearer gains multiple wounds, 2 versus monstrous beasts, monstrous cavalry, monsters, and ridden monsters. Not monstrous infantry, though.
No.
Okay. The model's unit
It's
is
basically
immune to the effects of terror and fear.
Yeah, the huntsman character, basically.
Yeah. All right.
And you can be on lion chariot
And you can ride a lion chariot.
which I don't think is a bad
The
option.
lion chariot's a really nice chariot.
I mean, it's tough if somebody's kind of squishy. And
It is. And it moves
it's
fast.
basically a monster.
It puts out a ton of hits itself.
Yeah, strength 6, yeah.
All right. And then the mage honors.
Okay, because all the other ones were for heroes, even though that made some of them mages. Honor of mages. The Asvad Scholar, 80 points. The range of spells cast by the wizard is increased by 6 inches, except for aura spells, which only increase in range by 3 only. So 6 actually.
It's still 6 because it goes 3 on each side.
Exactly. Bounce spells and spells with the type cast are not affected. They needed to put that in there. The wizard may cast Drain Magic Bounce Spell, which is a special spell, a power level 4, so you can one dice it. The range is 18, so since you get 6 inches, it's actually 24. It's universal duration, it's instant. All spells with duration last 1 turn or remain in play effect on the target immediately come to an end. If any of these spells had more than 1 target, their effects also end for these targets.
Okay.
So, because it's one thing to go against the remains in play, which there aren't that many in the game.
Correct.
But
now
to get it off for free, but also the last 1 turns, which is I think memory serves as a good number of them.
There's a lot of it.
That's a pretty nice free spell, basically.
Correct.
You're paying so basically you're paying 80 points to get a free spell,
which is very useful. 50 points.
Yes, and 6 inches.
Right.
With casting, which makes a lot of spells, which are now down to 18,
correct,
out to 24, and a few 24s out to 30.
Yeah.
For this actually.
This is almost a requirement for a mage, it looks like.
If you're going to take a mage, the elves are an army that it makes sense to take an mage because this boost, I think.
Now, this doesn't say it's limited to 1.
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
We can only afford so many, it's so expensive.
I understood, but
but yes, but I just think it's.
No, this is nice.
I think it's nice, and it makes you want to consider taking a mage. In a current meta, you don't see a lot of mages, but these guys can pull it off, I think.
Next, we have the Order of the Fiery Heart for 100.
Yeah.
Wizard must generate spells from pyromancy, and will always knows the spell Flaming Swords in addition to its normal spells.
Yep.
So he's getting a bonus spell.
Yep.
If Flaming Swords is rolled, re-roll this die. It can be re-rolled more than once if needed.
So you can't pick it. You have to re-roll.
This does not prevent other wizards knowing
the spell.
The model ignores missile.
So there's another case where you can duplicate spells, which isn't common.
The model ignores the missile and damage keywords for spells if targeting units with which it is engaged.
So basically, when it's in close combat, it can use those spells. You can
cast its stuff in close combat. Right. Magic missiles. That's actually really handy.
Yeah, not too shabby.
I haven't seen that around much.
Yes.
All right. The model. Oh, okay. Here's the drawback. The model must take one of the following mounts: a young dragon or a dragon.
And this is a drawback because
you're sinking a ton of points into a mage on a dragon.
He's still a dragon.
Okay, but I mean,
anyway, and you can give him armor.
He's still a dragon. I'm just saying.
And you can give him armor.
And he can take dragon forged armor, which is good. So now you can get a heavy armor mage.
Yep.
But heavy armor on a dragon is not going to help you a whole lot.
Why?
Because your armor is 2. I mean, 5 up.
Well, on a big dragon, it doesn't matter because it's just a dragon.
Oh, it's a mount. Yes, you won't do it there. You'll take
on
it
the young
on the
dragon.
side.
I think it's a 4 up, so it ends up being a 2 up anyway.
You think the young dragon gives you a 1?
Or even if it's a 5, it's going to be a 2.
Oh,
so,
got it.
Yeah, so you're still going to be fully protected. You're going to be really tough, or you're going to be armored. So
okay.
And it's just about letting the dragon do the heavy lifting while you're zapping people with spells.
Because you can get in combat and start zapping them.
Exactly.
Ooh, okay. All right. So, magical items.
Magical items. First one, here you go. Everyone takes this. The Great Bow of Elu. 70 points. So, doesn't use up your full hero allotment. Strength is user, +1. So, basically, elves are 4, strength generally, unless you're putting on a mage. I don't know you'd bother. So basically you're going to be strength 5 shooting, and you get multiple shots 3 with armor piercing 1.
Yep.
So strength 5, -3 armor save.
And it's a longbow, 30-inch range.
30-inch range. Multi-shots 3.
It's a really nice bow.
You're probably BS 7 more than likely, so you don't care about the multi-shot that much.
The multi-shot penalty.
Yes.
Yeah, you move, range, and move, range, and multi-shoot.
Yeah, now you're a 3.
Yeah, you're hitting on a 3.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Spear of the Blazing Dawn for 50 points.
It's a cool name.
It is.
Yeah.
Characters only. Well, what else can carry magic? I guess champions.
Champions.
Okay. It's a spear. Attacks made with this weapon count as having a strength equal to the toughness of the model they are attacking +1, regardless of modifiers. If the strength would be higher without this rule, ignore it. When attacking a ridden monster, any successful rolls to hit with this weapon will cause 2 hits instead of 1. Holy crap, this is fantastic.
Not multi-wound, multi-hits.
I understand. Why don't I see this?
Just so many choices to work with.
This is a nice item.
Well, it's a spear.
I mean, it's half of the Jack's pickaxe.
Mm-hmm.
This first part covers the Jack pickaxe.
Yes.
And if the strength would be higher with this rule, and if you're wounding a monster, you're cutting through its armor because you got enough you got enough strength now. Because most monsters aren't better than...
Correct.
Most aren't better than 4.
Right.
No cap on the top of the string. This is a fantastic item.
No, it's excellent.
I'm a big fan of this.
Yeah, it's surprising that they've nerfed some of the other equivalent items.
Talk to some people and ask them why this.
Well, I think I don't see a lot of people taking foot characters.
Oh, because you're not taking that many foot characters.
Yeah,
good point.
They're taking mono characters to get the better protection.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the only reason.
That's fantastic. Anyway, moving on.
You can't take no, never mind. You still have to take a light lance and a chariot, so you can't do there anyway. Okay, magical armor section.
What's this?
Guy in a chariot.
A character in a chariot?
Yeah.
Can take anything he wants.
It counts as a mount, so only a lance would get you don't.
+2 strength from a lance? What are you talking about?
Right, +2, and then it's +1 from a light lance. You can't take a spear because he's mounted, counts as mounted, right?
Oh, maybe so. Huh, that's interesting.
Yeah, something weird with the screen.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Matt Damon's hunter's helm. Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
80 points cannot be taken by models with towering presence, so nobody on a dragon, except for models mounted on a Griffin. I forgot the Griffin had it too, so can't be taken with the dragon. The Phoenix actually may have towering presence. I don't remember to look.
It does.
Yeah, it's none, but it's a 6 armor save, so it's a bonus armor save, as most helms are. The wearer gains ward save 3 up against magical attacks.
Okay. It's conditional.
It's helpful to fight against characters that probably have a magic weapon.
Yeah.
That's
a lot of points for that condition.
It's a lot of points for that condition to get a +1 armor save. I'd rather have the reroll helm.
I don't know. With this, you can go against that big ogre with that big sword and have some chance of surviving.
Yeah, I mean, it's just if you're building your guy and you can line him up against characters, then it's probably a good choice.
Right. Talisman, the Gleaming Robe. Mage on foot only. Wearer gains ethereal. Model cannot make attacks, including special attacks.
This is an old 8th set.
Yeah, this has been around forever.
Yeah.
Become ethereal. With the changes to ethereal, I don't think this is as good as it used to be.
Yeah, I think it's crap.
It used to be immune to mundane weapons. Now you can still get poked.
Now you can still get poked, so it's just you don't gain, unbreakable or anything. So
yeah, it needs to drop in price. I don't know if it has since ethereal changed, but
it may have. It's not
90 points is still too much.
It's not cheap enough for what ethereal is now. Arcane items: the amethyst crystal. In each of the opponent's magic phases, after rolling magic flux, the bearer may remove 1 magic die from the opponent's magic pool and add 1 for its side's channel attempt.
Move 1 dice from the opponent's magic pool. Right. Okay, so you reduce the number of dice he has by 1, and you get +1.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the only thing you can guarantee is you're going to reduce his by 1.
Correct.
Nice ability.
It's a nice ability. It's pricey.
But I don't know if I want to pay 110 points.
I mean, that means you have to do it on a mage lord, and he's got it. That means it's the only arcane item he's got. Again, it's an arcane item.
Correct. There's just other things that you need more of.
Next, we have the Book of Maladies.
Maladies.
No, it's not Maladies.
It's not Maladies. It's Maladies, but I prefer Maladies.
It's the Maladies. It's Malady's book. Hey, lady. Once per magic phase.
Malady should be in the Equitane list.
Once per magic phase, the bearer may reroll a single magic dice when making a casting roll, provided it was not a 6. Okay, so this is the old techless thing. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah.
This is the old thing from another book.
Yes.
Anyway, this is a nice item. Once per magic phase. It's nice.
It's a nice item.
This is worth taking. Yeah, this is worth taking as a arcane item.
It is.
Even considering it's taking your 1 arcane slot.
Yes. If you've got 2 guys, there's a good... if you happen to play with 2 wizards, which is kind of hard these days, but the second one probably has that.
Yeah, somebody's going to have this, I think.
Yeah.
This is nice. I think your big guy's going to have this, of course.
Yeah, then you put, depending how you build your list.
Yep.
I can't imagine actually having 2 mages and
no, not elven. Yeah.
Yeah, just the way things cost and how much you need the characters. And although they don't have the ability to have a unit that has a mage ability,
correct,
wizard conclave. So maybe you will with some of the other bonuses you can take with the range addition and everything. Or a guy flying around on a dragon. Cloak of Stars under Enchanted items, 35 points. Target spells targeting the bearer unit suffer a -2 modifier to their casting roll.
It's cheap.
It's relatively cheap.
I'm okay with it.
It's okay. It's just I don't like it because it makes you want to have a Death Star.
It does, but it's cheap enough that it's fine, I think.
It's fine. I just don't like things that are...
that encourage Death Stars.
That encourage Death Stars.
I agree.
From a design perspective. As an ability, it's okay.
All right. Next we have the Shard of something.
Senir? I don't know.
Senir. Anyway, it's a 1 use only. At the start of any close combat phase.
Only 20 points, though.
Why don't these fantasy words come with the pronunciation guides?
Maybe that's true.
Use at the start of any close combat phase.
I haven't looked at any of the foreign language ones. I wonder if they changed the names.
Effects last until the end of the close combat phase. After rolling to hit, the bearer may choose to reroll all its to hit dice. After rolling to wound, the bearer may choose to roll all its to wound dice. Models wounded by the bearer must reroll all successful saves of any kinds for wound inflicted by the bearer. At the end of the phase, the bearer suffers 1 hit wound with no 1 hit wound. That's a weird wording. 1 hit wound with no saves of any kind allowed, and multiple wounds too if you're ridden monster. So it's a 1 use item you're paying 20 points for. You can reroll all your to hits.
It's a rubber lance item.
You reroll all your to hits, so
yes.
Even your hits get rerolled.
Correct.
The successful.
Mm-hmm.
Reroll your 2 wounds, and then he has to reroll his saves. I like it until I get to the part where I suffer a wound with no saves of any kind.
It's only 1 wound.
Yeah, but I'm
on a 3 wound model.
But I'm in combat with somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But why are you using this? You're using this because
I need to try to kill him before he goes or whatever.
Because he's probably going to kill you when you...
It's only 20 points, so it's cheap.
It's
and
cheap.
You've got the choice to use it or not.
Right.
So I think it's a nice item.
And you don't have to reroll everything. You may reroll.
Correct.
Yeah.
You can choose to reroll all your to hits. And then if you roll well on the wound... If
right.
you get 3 out of 4 wounds, you're not going to reroll, of course.
Correct.
So you're not going to go for that 4th.
Exactly. And then the person has to reroll their save. So
right. I think it's a nice item.
It is a nice item for 20 points.
For 20 points, and I think the suffering a wound kind of balances the cheapness of this item. So anyway, because I think it should be a whole lot more if this part was not there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I guess if you take
if you put him on a monstrous beast, you still only take 1 wound. So
you take 2. Oh, the monster.
It's only ridden monster, so
right.
It's only the dragon. You put him on a griffin or something like that, then.
Yeah, that's not bad. And that stops the rubber lance thing. It's actually kind of nice on a griffin or something, I think.
Yeah, I think this is a nice unit. A nice unit. A nice ability.
Yeah, this is good. The more I look at this, and if you take the Druidism thing,
Mm-hmm.
you know, if you got that in your list, you're going to get your wound back at some point.
Yeah,
right?
or you take
You hope to, at least.
cosmetology.
Okay.
Magic standards. The Banner of Becalming. 70 points. The bearer gains channel. Okay. At the start of each enemy magic phase, select one friendly wizard within 12 inches of the bearer, so very close. The wizard gains +1 modifier to its dispel rolls during this magic phase.
It's not a one use only.
No, it's not. But
So you get +1 to channel and +1 to dispel.
yes.
That's not bad. It's a nice ability. I don't know if it's worth 70 points.
I don't know if I will pay 70 points for it.
And it's a standard.
Yes.
And it's priced too high to be a unit standard for a normal troop.
Correct.
Okay. Never mind. This would be fantastic if this was 50.
Yeah, but it's not. It's 70.
But it's not. So.
I'm not putting that on elite.
No, I'm not putting it on elite troops because your wizard's not going to be around, probably.
Right.
Anyway.
The War Banner of Rima, 60 points. The bearer's unit gains Thunderous Charge. Mounts are not affected.
This is great.
Very nice.
Yep. I've seen this on everything.
Oh, absolutely. I
see it on Sword Masters a lot now.
Whatever you have in your army that you're going to rely on the attack, you take this banner. Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, +1 strength on the charge is fantastic.
Yep.
That's good. All right.
I like all these things that give a general unit ability to make units stand out as elite. I wish the game had like 4 times as many banners as it has.
I do too.
Just to give more variation.
And there were more units had access to
magic banners. And just small things. Thunderous Charge, a +1 weapon skill, +1 move. I mean, all the different little things, and not everyone has the same banners, but I just think it just makes things kind of neat.
Yeah. Army organization.
Yes.
Characters max 40.
Usual.
Core usual. Minimum 25.
Specials usual.
Elder service max 30.
This looks is basically
like based on the symbol.
Yeah, I believe so. And
Peacekeepers max 15, which we'll see
I think that's
later on.
I think that's the other. I can't remember which shooty is which. And then the ancient allies are mostly the big gribblies.
The big scary stuff.
The one thing that came up on the Sylvan Elf boards, which I kind of agreed with, is all of the Elven armies are kind of elite armies.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole idea of core and how core and special works this way doesn't seem to fit them very well.
Right.
They'd be better served, and I agree with this, is to get away with the core and the special and just give you your categories so you build your army, all of them having minimums and caps.
Oh, okay.
I think you do different things with that. Yeah, not having any no limit ones, and
Mm-hmm.
So because in theory every troop type in this army is elite in some degree or another.
It is because
they're all elves.
I mean, I mentioned the other night on the YouTube thing we did with Lord Tremendous.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually of the opinion that this should be pretty much 50 for most armies.
I think there should be a base.
Because your core, to me, means the core of your army. I mean, every time I see it, I see people, and myself included, hitting the core tax. So you're trying to get as close to this 25% as you can without going too much over. And then
getting
your special is where all your stuff goes. Therefore, the core of my army is my special, not my core.
Correct, but I think if you reorganize things, allocate it differently,
correct,
then whatever that main one is, you can call it core whatever you want.
Right.
You end up having more guys in there that do certain things for the flavor of the army instead of being the worst guys in the army.
Right. That's good too. Yes.
Yeah. That's part of why it doesn't work, is because you don't want to take the main guys, because there are always there are other units in special and other that does the same things better. So why wouldn't you take those? And there needs to be a different approach to that. I mean, it's all kinds of ways you could do it, but.
All right, moving on to the army list.
Army list: Lords of the Seas. The
Lords of the Dance.
Yes, Lords of the Dance. They are elves, but they're not Sylvan elves, so they don't dance as well.
Okay.
They only know waltzes and polkas.
Polkas.
Exactly.
Wow.
All right, so you have a high prince and you have a commander, which is basically the lord and the hero. General elven stats. So the high prince has one more weapon skill, one more ballistic skill than the commander. Same toughness and strength, 3 and 4 respectively. 3 wounds on both. Initiative 8 for the High Prince, and the commander's initiative 7. 4 attacks for the Lord level, 3 for the commander, and then leadership 10 for the Prince, and then the hero guy has leadership 9. They all come with light armor. Another, yeah. It's almost at the point where I don't even know why they have light armor in the game.
Yeah, I know.
It's like a waste of time just for a die roll sometimes.
Well, it's not only that, but I mean, is it really necessary on characters? Because no character is going to stick with just light armor.
No,
that's where not. I think it's kind of dumb.
It is. Martial discipline, lightning reflexes, so the leadership ability and the +1 to hit all the time. We talked about the other one, lightning reflexes. I like elves, but I just wish they'd change the hit table and do away with that as a special rule.
Right, because then their weapon skill would mean more.
Yeah, so I mean, I think the weapon skill needs to mean more in the game than it does. You can become a High Prince or a Commander. So 250, 150, very simple, similar to the Red Elves, 100-point swing. Standard Bearer, 50 points. Magic items usual, 200 for Lord, 100 for Hero. You can take a single honor with no point limit. You can take protection, so shield, heavy armor, dragon forged armor. You're probably taking dragon forged unless you're taking a magic armor. Right. Taking longbow. I suppose.
Why not? 6 points.
Well, if you have the points left over, but
yeah.
The may take a weapon, one choice only. Paired weapons spears, light lance. They're all the same, kind of like the Dread Elves. Great weapon, slightly more. Halberd is more, and the lance is more. Now,
this is a weird thing.
Well, lance to me in all armies has a problem because they tend to be as expensive or more expensive than
great
weapons. And yeah, the great weapons strike last usually, but they attack every turn. Lances, attack at initiative, but you only get one shot at them.
Yeah,
here it's crazy because you got lightning reflexes.
Right.
So there is no negative. Okay, you don't get a +1 to hit.
You get
but there's really no negative compared to. Why would you ever take a lance at this point limit? You'd never take a lance.
No, pay timber
unless you have to because. I don't know.
Maybe somebody says you do.
Maybe you're restricted. I don't know. I have to remember some of the.
Yeah. I don't like this at all. I think lance is way over because even a lance being as much as a great weapon, you're going to use a lance 2-3 times a game probably.
Correct. Yes, probably.
Great weapon you happen in every round of combat.
Exactly.
You're using. Anyway.
Especially with elves.
Or the halberd.
Especially with elves.
To me, a halberd's worth more than a lance.
With elves, definitely.
Especially, well, no, because you're not even giving up your +1 to hit.
That's what I'm saying. With elves, definitely it is.
Anyway.
Because
I mean, but if I could take a halberd, I would take it over a lance every time. I would give myself +1 strength every round rather than
if you can get the protection up some other way.
Yeah,
I mean that's your limitation. Is can I still protect my guy?
Right.
But I need to. I'm sure they'll fix that when they balance all the books. May take mounts, one choice only.
They will.
You can only have one choice. I can't believe they don't let you have like 2 mounts. You have like
one for each foot.
When you have a dragon, you have a little horse that you strap to the side. You use that when you need it. Run errands.
When the horse dies, you can get on your. When the
dragon dies, you get on your horse. Exactly. Okay, first one is standard elven horse. As you saw, it's 80 points 50. You took that Rima thing. It was 80 points, and you got the bonus plus the free horse basically, or the free bonus. Reaver chariots, which are the horse chariots. Yeah. Interesting that they're the same points each, considering you're getting a toughness boost that's equal on both of them. That's kind of surprising. Eagle, toughness boost and fly. Griffin, same points. You're getting toughness boosts. And wounds. I guess it's the same toughness boost overall, so it's okay. And the young dragon and the regular dragon of 520, they count, and the dragons count towards characters. Additionally, they count towards ancient allies. I don't think when you take the one guys, I don't think it has the asterisk, right? The dragon rider guy. So I think he has a way you can get extra dragons in this army.
Was there?
If I remember correctly, if you go up to the honors. So this guy here, young dragon. Dragon doesn't say anything about about counting against the
Yeah,
other
but it's
categories.
still a mount.
Yeah, but it doesn't say it counts towards the category.
Yeah, but I think
Doesn't
that
have
would
the
fall
asterisk.
under. I think that defaults under the other mount, though.
But well, then why does it have its own points?
Oh, it's different points.
Yeah.
Maybe so.
And the same with the one above, the Rima one.
Fire, frost.
And here you got these guys.
Really? I don't know. I'd ask for
And then you see dragons again.
the ancient allies is increased by 25.
Yeah.
I'll have to ask that. That's a
Ask
good
it
question.
The way it's written.
Because the way it's written, I think you're right.
Because you're going to have one of these guys, so,
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you can still... I mean, the problem is points.
Yeah.
One...
You're running out of points fast when you're putting 1,000-point characters on the board.
huge dragon, and all of a sudden you don't have much left. But if you take the smaller ones, I think you can do multiples.
All right. So we move on to the mage.
The Magi.
Oh, the Magi. Sorry, I mispronounced it. Yeah, he's an elf stat, strength 3, tough 3.
Yep. Another leadership
5,
9 mage.
Leadership 9 mage, which is nice.
So you can use him as your army commander.
You can. Martial discipline, lightning reflexes, master of balance.
Yes.
Generate spells from pyromancy, cosmetology, or divination. Knows one learned spell from a chosen path.
Yeah. Divination's nice. I like cosmetology.
Okay.
Pyromancy, it has...
Pyromancy's nice.
It has its uses.
Mainly against elves.
Yeah, I'm saying against other elves or demon legions. I think it's kind of nice to have it.
Wizard Master for 70, same as everybody else.
Or if you can spam it a lot because you have the little guys on there.
Actually, most mages
dragons
are around the same, right at this 200-point mark.
Yeah.
And these upgrades are all the same.
Correct.
Take single honor with no point limit.
Well, some are they're like 180 or 150, 200, I think is on the... it varies a little bit, but not a lot.
May take a mount, elven horse for 40, a Reaver chariot for 40, giant eagle for 50, Griffin for 220, a young dragon for 220. Wow.
Has to be a master, though.
Yeah, both of them. Is that really... You're paying the same price for either one of these?
Well, they're similar. You'll see when we get to them.
Dragon for 60.
The young dragon's not a monster. It's a monstrous beast.
Ah, okay. Griffin's young dragons, right, and their riders count towards characters.
Right.
Additionally, the mount counts towards ancient allies.
Right.
Okay. So...
Bog standard horse for elves. They're all three of them except mounts protection 5.
The giant eagles, probably one of the endangered species.
Well, for Sylvan elves.
For Sylvan elves and the high elves, they just always show up to get killed.
Yeah.
And there's your Griffin.
Yeah, I'm not a... they've kind of... You don't see eagle characters very much. Just because I think the Griffin is just so much better.
Yeah. It's only fly 8. Towering presence, fear, armor piercing 1, lightning reflexes, thunderous charge, devastating charge.
Yeah.
4 attacks on the charge. He gets 5.
So you basically
He's
get
got the
5
lightning reflexes.
strength 6 attacks on the charge.
So he may be hitting us. He's hitting a lot of stuff on 2s.
Yes.
With strength 5 armor piercing.
Minus 3 armor save.
Oh, sorry. On the charge,
on
strength 6 armor
minus
piercing.
4 causes fear.
Yeah.
Does have towering presence, so it's a little easier to hit.
Yeah, he's really nice.
It's nice, and you can build up your. He's got. He doesn't have any mouse protection, so you have to give your guy all of his protection. Right. But it's only on a 50 same size base as an eagle.
Yeah.
So.
He's nice.
He's expensive, but.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
5,
so then
5,
comparing
4,
it to
5.
the young dragon,
the same, aren't they?
They're very similar. He's got
Yeah.
He's got mounts protection 6. I thought he had mounts protection 5, but so you have to think about how you protect
5,
that mage guy.
4, initiative 3, attacks 4.
Yeah.
This guy's got extra initiative. That's pretty much it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and a little bit faster.
A little faster.
But doesn't have the mounts protection.
He gets the extra stomp.
D3 stomp.
And
he's got a breath weapon.
And he has a breath weapon.
Yeah, he just won for me.
Sorry?
He just won. The breath weapon won it for him.
They both, I think, one half dozen the other.
Right.
The thing I like here is you get a little bit of mounts protection.
Correct.
That helps you protect your character.
The mounts protection, the additional stomp, and the breath weapon.
Yeah.
I think past the other one.
Brings us to the Fire Phoenix. the very slow on foot, flies 9, strength and toughness 5, 5 wounds, initiative 4, so relatively quick for a monster. 4 attacks, not a lot of attacks. Leadership 8. Does have a ward save of 4. Magic attacks, fireborne, flaming attacks. The flame swoop, which we'll get to, which is basically you can fly over things and give them some attacks. And the rebirth, which we'll get to. Basically, if he dies, he has a chance to come back the following turn.
All right.
Go ahead and scroll on
Very nice.
Frost Phoenix for comparison purposes. Then you have the Frost Phoenix, which is the cold brother.
Yes.
Ward save 4 also, plus innate defense 5. So you get, he's more resilient. Little slower, flies 8.
Right.
Same strength, toughness, and wounds. Little slower in initiative, but he gets an extra attack.
Correct.
You can really,
but the initiative,
tank up the rider.
The initiative doesn't. No, the initiative. What he helps him a lot. This is.
And then you have the chilling aura, which we'll get to.
See later, but
yeah,
this is what sets him aside.
Right. I don't remember Can you scroll up what was the points difference between the two?
Oh, I think they were the same on somebody. No,
has to go to the character.
Who gets to take him? This guy.
Oh, I guess only the magic. Oh, I guess only the character gets to take him.
Special guy takes him, right? Dragon.
Like,
there he is.
There he is.
20 points difference.
20 points difference, and yeah. So actually, you're not necessarily gaining a ward save because the monster has the ward save.
Yeah, you got to ride the monster, and it'll have a ward save.
Yeah. So that's not so good, actually.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
But it's 420. It's 420. We'll have to see how much the monster is.
Yeah, as an upgrade. Or
it could be that you're getting it cheaper or whatever.
Right.
All right.
Well, how would we know? Because it's not on the other guy.
No, I'm saying when it's by itself.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. We'll have to see.
Yeah. So we did the young dragon.
But it's a way to have, not a dragon and another character flying around.
And then you have the monster dragon.
Yes.
And there's 2 of those.
Yes.
Weapon skill 5 and strength 6, tough 6, wound 6 for the littler one.
Yeah, this is like your standard dragon that most people have. Yeah.
And then you have the ancient dragon, which is weapon skill 6.
Yes.
Strength 7, toughness 7, attack 6. Oof.
Yes.
That is scary.
And they're only initiative 3 though.
They are initiative 3.
Fly 7.
Innate defense 3.
To me, it's funny that they made. I think they wanted to tone down dragons, but they're the slowest flyer in the game. It's just
they're close.
Yeah.
The Pegasus is the same. You're with the guys.
Right.
It's just Pegasus.
Kind of strange, but innate defense 3. Of course, they're a monster, so it's the rider can't help them at all. Just with you get your 3 up, but a toughness 7. That's pretty good. You're resilient to a lot of war machines even shooting at you. Not all of them, but a lot of them.
Yeah, that's very nice.
It's a 200 point upgrade, but
yeah. The Reaver Chariot. The Reaver Chariot is the horse chariot.
Yeah.
It's got 2 crew. It's strength 5, toughness 4 with 4 wounds. It's got mounts protection 6 and light armor, so 5 up.
Yep. Yeah, toughness 4, 5 up, 4 wounds.
Yeah. Light lance and longbows for the riders.
Strength 4 on the charge.
Yeah, for the riders.
Yeah. 2 shots. 2 strength 3 attacks with the horses.
It does have light troops and vanguard.
Yes.
It's got vanguard going for it, which is kind of nice.
What does light troops do for it?
It's a single model anyway, so I'm not sure. I guess it can join other light troops. I don't know.
Or do all chariots now have light troops? I don't know.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know what it does for it. So, Sky Sloop, it's the flying chariot basically. Chariot, same general stat line as the Reaver Chariot, except instead of having 2 horses with 1 attack each, you have 1 hawk that has 2 attacks, with which are slightly stronger. Same protection, so it's only got a 5 up armor save.
It flies 9, same speed.
Yes, same speed, but it does it flying. Flying's always better than walking. It's hard target, so it's harder to hit with shooting.
Yeah, that's nice.
And then, the hawk has got that. Now, this is the character version, so you can get your guy in there, up armor him up.
No.
Then you have some options you can give to the thing. Well, you have to take one of the two. You can take the Storm Pennant. The model's close combat attacks and impact hits gain lightning attacks. It's like, okay. Model Storm Pennant can cast Ice and Fire from Cosmology as a bound level 5. So I don't remember what Ice and Fire does.
I think that's the... Anyway.
Yeah, so basically it gives you a bound spell. If you want to go, this is kind of the way of getting a Wizard Conclave without having to pay for wizards, I guess. You do it on this, this beat. Or you get the Sky Reaper Volley Gun. It's got a rate of fire 4. Actually, I thought this thing was limited. Artillery weapon with range of 24. Strength 5, armor piercing 1, quick to fire. I thought they trimmed this down so you couldn't spam this.
Okay.
A whole bunch of characters with ballistic skill, 7
Right.
flying around shooting this thing.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway.
So that's kind of scary.
Characters, additional mountain course, peacekeepers when equipped with a Sky Reaper.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, you can still have a ballistic skill 7 or 6 strength 5,
thing.
multi-shot 4, armor piercing thing with quick to fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
I thought they did something about that.
Did something. Is it, maybe it's not with the character anymore? Maybe it's only the special guy?
Yeah, it could be that only one guy can take it. Actually, now that you say that, it says characters. Can these guys take the Sky Sloop? No.
No, it's just that...
So the one special guy is the only one that can take it.
I don't know, maybe those you're limited to, but...
Yeah, probably just the Sky Sloop. Who can take a Sky Sloop? There we go. The fleet officer can take one for 315. Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah, and you're limited.
He's the only guy.
You're not limited, but at that price, you're limited.
Yeah.
Slightly less than one.
It is priced. It's quite potent, but yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's pricey. Okay. So that's the Sky Sloop.
Yep.
Moving on, we have the Lion Chariot.
Wonderful.
Which is fantastic. Strength 5, tough, still only tough 4, with 4 wounds. It's got
and heavy armor.
So it's got 3 up
three
armor.
Up. So it's protected.
With that, the crew, it's got 1 crewman because your guy replaces one. He has 1 attack.
With a great weapon.
And he's got 2
strength
lions
6.
that have 2 attacks each.
It's strength 5.
So 4 strength 5 attacks, 1 strength 6 attack.
Plus your character.
And then your character on top of that. D6 plus 1 impact. The crew has a great weapon. They all have martial discipline.
It's got the Valiant rule. So the character's on there, so it basically makes them stubborn.
Right. Multiple wounds. 2 versus Monstrous Cav, Monstrous Beast, Monster.
The usual huntsman thing. But yeah.
Yeah, very nice. So I see this a lot. I see the character.
Yeah, make your guy toughness 4. You got 4 wounds instead of 3.
Yep.
You're not paying a huge amount for that.
And he's got, starting with a 3 up armor.
And he gets extra attacks at high strength.
So coming to the core of the armor.
It starts with a 3 up, so you only have to buy something cheap. Give him a shield or a helm or a shield and a helm, and boom, he's 1 up.
Yep. Citizen Spears, 260 for 20. It's at 13 apiece. Can I count?
Yeah,
I can. Wow.
For the first 20.
And then 18 after that. Wow, that's a huge difference between these first and
they did that with a number of the elves.
Okay. Elven stat line, nothing,
Nothing special for an
4,
elf.
4, 3, 3, 1, 5. Yep. They come with spears, light armor, and shields.
So 5 up.
5 up armor with a spear. Martial discipline, lightning reflexes. Fight an extra rank, which is great. Especially with spearmen. So now you're fighting in 4 ranks without being 10 wide.
Yep.
That's really nice. Standard upgrades.
Right.
Command upgrades. Yeah. Really nice. 13 points a model for the beginning ones. That's really good.
Yeah, it's solid.
Yeah. And next
for an infantry unit. The Highborn Lancers. So this is an army that actually has its heavy cavalry. No, it's heavy cav. Heavy cavalry in the core. There aren't too many of those. The 250 points for the first 5, and then 46 for the next 10. So 50 points, 25 old basically, and then the rest of them. So not too expensive for heavy cav.
For a 2-up armor.
Yeah, for heavy cav. I mean, I think heavy cav's overcosted in the game, but that's a whole
Elven stat line, so you're only, even with your lance, you're only hitting in strength 5.
Correct. And but you're hitting on 2s a lot of the time, at least 3s. Fast. Yeah. Well, because lightning reflexes.
Correct.
The horse is speed 9. You get mounts protection. 2-up with the heavy armor shield and mounts protection. You get the lance, martial discipline, lightning reflexes, and his scoring. Normal command options, and you have the veteran standard, but you're limited to 4 of these units. As a core cavalry unit, you can form up like 6s, make little darts out of them.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, they're or just to make them a character bunker, 1 guy, 5 knights, whatever, because they're so mobile.
They are. This is a good unit.
Yeah, it's a solid unit. I mean, cavalry's weak. Heavy cav's weak in the game.
It is
because they're fast, and they're that helps them. And they have a higher probability of actually hitting things.
Right. Citizen archers, 10 for 180, 18 points apiece, and you buy the additional.
Is this Citizen Kane's brother?
It is.
Yeah.
This unit counts both core and elder service.
I hate that. Elder service being the shooting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Standard elven stat line.
Yep.
Have longbow, light armor, martial discipline, lightning reflexes. It's a scoring unit and standard command upgrades. Pretty vanilla as far as what it is. It's just basically your bow unit.
They're basic archers. Nothing special. Strength 3.
Yeah, just archers.
Yeah, if you want some archers. The cost point is not bad. I mean, the same points as a spearman basically. When you talk about the additional guys, but yeah, I mean they're okay, but strength 3 ballistics shooting is not fantastic in the game.
Okay.
Brings us a Sea Guard, 240 points, so 24 points for the first 10, and 24 for the rest of them. Also has counts for core and elder service like the archers. So the other guys were 18. These are 24, so you're paying 6 more points a guy. Bog standard elven stat line, weapon skill gets there. You get a spear and a regular bow, light armor shield, so you get a 5-up save. Martial discipline, lightning reflexes, fight an extra rank like a spearman. Weapon master, not sure why that matters. And scoring.
So I guess if you decide to, you can go hand, weapon, and shield.
That's true. I suppose if you want to
really
do that. If you don't need to fight an extra rank and extra rank again for spear. Yeah, if you run up against somebody uber, I guess. May take ambush at 6 points.
Ooh.
This is base 10 guys per unit, right?
Base 10.
Yeah. That's an interesting option. I'm not going to say it's a good option, but I think it's an interesting option.
It is.
Since you only have one of them.
But you got a 300 point plus command, so you got 350 point unit.
Sure.
That you're questioning when it's coming on.
Yeah, I don't care about a 300 point unit. I mean, it's 100. I think people get locked at it's 150 old points, so
correct. Understood.
It's not terrible. It's just a single ambushing unit. It's in ranked formations. I don't think it's as good as multiples like beast herds is a different story. Anything when you get multiples, you get the normal command stuff. Same comment. I wish they would take the points away and just say everybody gets the stuff for free,
right.
And just give discounts to skirmish units a little bit to compensate. Veteran standard bearer. Then you have steady aim, special rule. A model with special rule always counts as not having moved for the purpose of volley fire.
Oh, so the whole unit can always fire.
Volley fire, yes. Can't be used together with quick to fire. If the model has both, choose which one before using. And that's the fleet commander guy had that, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, this is actually kind of nice.
It's very nice. So
you do count as moving and shooting. You do take the -1 to move and shoot.
Yes. But you get to shoot all your guys. Now they cost a fortune.
But
so
they cost a fortune. Yeah, they do cost a ton.
So a lot of people don't like these. I kind of like them. They say they only have bows, but usually starting 24 away from each other anyway. So.
Well, and you're moving 5 inches in shooting, so your range is only an inch shorter.
Right.
So I guess you are taking a -1 to move.
Yeah, and so they're not cheap guys. They're elite points is the only thing, and there are other things that you can take for elite, but they do come out of core.
How much more were they than these guys?
6 points. So 3 old points.
So 6 points, 3 old points, and you're gaining what?
Armor.
Spear, and you're trading your longbow for a bow.
You're getting.
You had armor, didn't you?
Well,
you're gaining a shield.
You're getting the shield. So you're getting the fight next rank is the same. You're basically combining 2 units into one.
Correct.
And then you're getting this ability for shooting.
I guess it gives you the multi-use thing.
Correct.
But you're paying for both, and you're only using one.
One at a time, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
So that's, a lot of people don't like it. I can understand it, but I think it's kind of neat.
The Eline Reavers.
Align.
5 models.
They align with the Reavers.
Do they?
Yeah.
5 models. They may add up to 5 more for 28 points apiece.
Another dual approach unit.
Another unit that counts towards 2 things. Mounts protection 5 with light armor. No option for shield, so 5 up is your armor. That's odd. Well, they're elves. They're ancient. They've forgotten how to use shields. Mm-hmm. No one's told them. The goblins learned that goblins are more protected than they are.
Yes.
Elven stat line.
They're so prolific, so they don't worry about loot. And
yes, exactly.
And their lives aren't very important, obviously.
No, obviously not. They have light lance.
Yeah.
Fast cav rules. They can take a bow for 2 points a model.
Yes.
Which is probably something to do. It's only 5 shots, but at least
if you have some points, I suppose.
If you got 10 points.
If you actually chose to take this unit and you have a couple points.
Yeah, it's the 5. I wonder why they're one of the few fast cav armies that can't go to a 4-up. That's kind of strange.
I'll wait till we get to the Sylvan Elves.
All right, moving on.
Yeah.
What do we have?
Well, remember in the old days, it was super rare to have 4-up.
Correct.
For fast cav.
And when you did it, you could do it, but you would lose
lost your
fast
ability.
cav. Yeah.
This is one of the big buff things that I think kind of was a mistake in Ninth Age. Is all of a sudden now everyone pretty much can get 4-up armor saves on
4-up light cav.
Yeah, light cav,
Which is kind of
medium. So it's like what happened to medium cav?
Yeah.
They've all become medium cav with all the bonuses of light cav.
Correct.
Brings us into the special category. They're so special.
They are.
And we're going to talk about some of the most special of all, these sword masters. 135 points for only 5 models, can add up to 25 more at 25 points per model.
They're pricey.
They are pricey, but they're not.
That's only 12.5 again.
That's
isn't
not crazy pricey.
No, it isn't.
Yeah, it's elite infantry pricing, but it's for what you're getting.
They are elite infantry.
They are elite infantry. Normal movement 5, weapon skill 6. So some top weapon skill that you're going to find for any elite infantry. For elves or somebody, you don't see many weapon skill 6s for troops in the game. There's, it's usually just elves and some chaos guys. A ballistic skill 4, so what? Strength toughness 3, 1 wound, initiative 6. So we have the first initiative 6 option in the Highborn Elves. 2 attacks, which is the important thing, and not only 2 attacks, or 2 attacks with a great weapon. So they basically have strength 5, and because they're elves. They are usually hitting on 3s because most people don't have a 6. Even though their lightning reflexes doesn't have +1, it doesn't mean they go in initiative order, and you're usually going first. So,
yes, they're going at initiative 6, and they're getting the +1 to hit.
Exactly. So
anyway,
this unit is a great unit in a MSU. It's a great unit in a big bunker. You can take a champion. A champion can have a magic item, a magic weapon specifically. So. Something for doing some zapping, something to help you with overall fighting ability. You can take a magical standard up to 50 as any elite, and you have the musician as standard. Then you have the sword sworn. Models parts with this special will gain +1 hit modifier when attacking with a great weapon. So it's basically
both benefits of lightning reflexes.
Correct.
You don't lose the
right. So what it does mean is you get this, so it kind of compensates for parry. You don't ignore parry.
But
you do ignore parry because.
Well, you're hitting parry models on 3s.
You hit them on 3s, exactly.
Whereas you would sometimes be hitting them on
So
Yeah,
there's a lot of people who don't think this unit. I mean, I see that they don't think it's good, but I think this is.
I don't know who thinks this is.
I think this is a fantastic 20 by 20 infantry. I mean, it's not.
The Highborn Elf players I've talked to that they're good players. They love this unit.
Yeah,
still.
it is. It is so. I don't mind. I mean, I don't think it's over the top good because I still think there's counters to it, but they're still squishy. So
they are tough 3, 5.
Tough 3, 5 up armor save. So you're going up to a whole ton of spearmen. Yeah, you're going to kill a lot of guys, but you're going to lose a lot of guys. So but it's a nice unit, very nice unit. I like it a lot.
Yep. Moving on to the other elite, another elite unit is the Lion Guard. These guys only have weapon skill 5.
Yes.
3 toughness, strength 4 though.
They're stronger.
They're stronger. Their initiative's down, and they have 1 attack each.
Right. So regular elf initiative.
Pretty much regular elf initiative.
Right.
But they get they get a bump in strength. And
correct.
Weapon skill.
And they have a great weapon also.
They have a great weapon. They have heavy armor, and they have lion's fur.
Which pushes them up to a 6.
Players gain a net defense 6.
And a 3 against shooting.
Which is improved to 5 against shooting. So yeah, they've got a 4 up armor, and a 3 up versus shooting.
I wish we saw.
That's really good.
I like this a lot. I actually wish the differences between the elves were the Highborn Elves were the more armored elves.
Right.
The Dread Elves were the more, I'll call it more attacky elves. And then the Sylvan Elves were the more shooty and maneuverable elves, Instead of some of the other abilities that they give them. Let's, give these guys mithril armor, make them better protected.
Hopefully when they do when they do the Elven books, they'll do them all 3 at the same time.
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
And really concentrate on making the differences stand out.
Yeah.
That's my hope.
I mean, they have differences. They're all different now. They feel different, but it's usually more differences by special rules or or difference by what they deny people instead of, what they have. Anyway, sorry, keep going.
These guys have Valiant. They have, which makes them
basically bodyguard for the huntsman guys.
Huntsman. They have scoring. They have Strider in the forest, so they can be stubborn, steadfast in the forest.
Yes.
And they do multiple wounds 2 versus monstrous cav, monstrous beast, monsters, and ridden monsters.
Right, not monstrous infantry.
No monstrous infantry, but that's still a nice list.
It is.
You can put them in skirmishing and lose your scoring.
Yeah, I don't know how you do that.
I don't know that you're going to do that. Actually, maybe you will.
Why?
10 guys. If you did it with 10, that's a nice skirmishing unit that's going to be -1 to hit and 3 up armor once you do hit them if you're shooting at them.
I suppose.
Anyway.
What, you going to put them in front of your unit to screen your army?
Yeah, they're cheap.
Yeah. I mean.
Yeah, maybe not. Anyway, they can do the standard upgrades. Yep. They can't do the champion magic weapon.
No. They're not quite as elite as the sword
masters. You can only put 15 models.
Yeah.
In the skirmishing.
They've tried to in almost all the books limit the number of skirmishing units in each army.
Okay. Moving on.
Brings us to the Flame Wardens. These are the halberd guys, basically. 10 models, 240 points, so 24 points for the first 10. You can add another 15, so they can get up to 35. 29 points for the rest of them. Kind of strange that these guys are front-loaded. As far as being cheaper for the first ones.
Yes.
You're not gaining. I'm kind of the same way. It's like I think unless the front guys have extra attacks, well, even then, I don't see why the back guys would cost more unless you're trying to.
Because the back guys are just.
They're just rank bonuses.
Correct.
I can understand it for fast cap because you don't want people doing goofy things, but yeah, if you're going to do this rule, it would just seem that it would be the other way around. You don't want people having really big, but
unless you're trying to encourage small units.
Yeah, and just cap the darn things. Okay, 0 to 5, you can clearly they allow it. They want you to have small units.
Again,
have a lot of
pointing
them.
to small units.
Yeah, halberds. So their strength 3, weapon skills only. I should say 5, but weapon skills 5. It's not as good as sword masters. Initiative is 6. So this is the second initiative 6 unit in the army, but leadership 9. So they have good leadership.
Really good.
Heavy armor, so they're 5 up. Usual martial discipline, lightning reflexes, fight an extra rank, which is kind of nice, but because of the other rule, kind of hard to use. Ward save 4, which is what makes these nice. They're resilient. Standard command, and they can have a magic standard.
Okay.
Because of the ward save
is
4.
Fantastic. And it's not limited to shooting like the one in the Dark Elf.
Yeah, because of the ward save 4, they're basically strength 5 with the ward save 4. I mean, forget about the heavy armor. It's there, but whatever. I'm surprised you don't see more of these in
I
the
actually
game.
like these guys a lot.
Yeah.
10 models, fight an extra rank. So if you take 12, you can go 4 wide, 3 deep. If you're not caring about ranks and just all attack. Nice little compact unit.
Right. You're not stubborn or any of that stuff, so you have to...
You're immune to psychology, yeah, but you're going to dish
mindful.
out some punishment.
I'm surprised you see White Lions more than you see these guys.
Yeah. The 4-up ward save all the time is fantastic.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
It's a good bunker unit, too, to put a mage in.
We have the Knights of Rima.
Yeah.
340 points for 5 and 54 points for each for additional 7.
Little pricey.
They are, but they're there. They deserve it. They're a 2-up armor.
Can have 4 units of them.
There are weapon skill 5, strength 4 base.
Correct.
And another initiative 6 unit.
So it's their third initiative and a leadership 9
unit. So 2-up armor, move 9, 2-up ward save versus fire,
6
and
up
a 6-up
otherwise.
ward save otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
They all come with lance, martial discipline, lightning reflexes.
They have
devastating charge, which is an additional attack on the charge.
Correct. So additional strength 6 attack.
Correct. So you basically on a charge have 2 strength 6 attacks.
Yes.
Which is fantastic.
For a while they had 2 attacks. I kind of like this.
This is nice.
Yeah.
Standard unit command upgrades and magic standard up to 100. A lot of times I'll see this unit with the Thunderous Charge banner.
Sure.
It's either here or it's on the other ones, but these guys are already strength 6. They don't necessarily need it.
But you know what's better than strength 6?
What's that?
Strength 7.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I won't deny that.
Depends how you're building your army, what you're trying to do.
But these guys are really nice. They're pricey, but they're very nice.
No, I think they're definitely worth the points in one of the, I'll call it upper tier. I won't call them the top, but upper tier heavy cav
they are
in the game.
They're very good.
Brings us to the Reaver Chariot, the redheaded stepchild chariots for this army list.
It's only
150 points, yeah. One model may take 3, so you can have a whole unit of these things. Wow. Chariot of, I never quite get that for any of the chariot units, except for maybe Tomb Kings. As we said before when we read it, strength 5, toughness 4, 4 wounds. 5-up armor save, so it's easy to get shot off. Doesn't put out a lot of...
Yeah, 5-up armor save with toughness 4.
Yeah, it's 9, but can't march. Gets your vanguard, so you can...
Keeps up fairly decent with your troops, with your foot guys.
Yeah,
They're only marching 10.
I suppose. It's an air denial. I mean, maybe you can put them out on the flanks. They may actually be better than line Reavers.
This is underrated, this Vanguard ability.
Well, it's good.
It's very good, because you can put them up on line. You don't have to use that to move forward.
Correct. You can redeploy.
When you start deploying stuff, and if you're trading off deployments, you put a couple of these down.
Right.
You use your Vanguard to shift them over, and your whole front can shift.
Or shift back, you can do whatever. So, yeah.
I like that a lot.
Vanguard's a nice rule, and it's a light chariot. I just...
The crew only have light lances, though.
Yeah, strength 4. I mean, it doesn't fight. It relies on its impact hits.
Right.
And then it just has... why isn't it listed on here?
I don't even see the impact hits listed on here. I guess it's standard because of a crew, because of the chariot.
I thought so.
They always list
Scroll down. Is it farther down?
No, we're done. Like if we look at the lion chariot, impact hits +1. I guess chariots all have impact hits, and this one,
I thought so.
Doesn't have the +1. So
I know it doesn't. That's what I thought it had.
Again, it's the
so it can be between 1 and 6.
Those young upstart race of the elves haven't figured out that if you put scythes on the blades, on the wheels, it makes it better.
For yes, well that's too brutal. So
anyway,
it's 150 points.
150 points. It's nice. 75 old points. This is nice.
It's cheap. It's just I don't know.
It's cheap. It's good. It hits hard on the charge. As far as
it might D6 depends what you roll.
D6 string 5, as long as you can roll it better than a 1 or 2, yeah,
or 3.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, I like it.
Compared to this thing,
then we come to this for 80 points more.
You get the world.
The Lion Chariot, which is still strength 5, tough 4, wounds 4. Looks the same so far.
Yeah.
Except now we got Lion Guard guys riding it, who are weapon skill 5, base strength 4 with great weapons. Their initiative 5, 1 attack each.
So 2 strength 6 attacks.
So 2 strength 6 attacks out of the back of this thing.
As opposed to 2 strength 4 attacks.
With multi-wound.
With multi-wound against various troop types.
Yep. It's a 3-up armor instead of the 5-up above. Yep. It does get the +1 impact hits, which kind of gives you a little bit of cushion on impact.
And then even if you don't get them, you also have the lions and the rider. The lions another. And
then I forget to mention the lions. 4 attacks from lions at strength 5.
Yes.
Weapon skill 5.
Initiative 4.
Yeah. These are deadly chariots.
Yes.
These are fantastic chariots.
Because even here, you whiff on your impact hits, you still have damage dealing capability.
Yeah, and if you're whiffing, you're still getting 2 impacts minimum.
Minimum 2, and then another 6 attacks at strength 5 and strength 6.
Yeah, 6 attacks, 4 attacks at strength 5, 2 at strength 6. Anyway, very nice chariot.
So to me, comparatively, I
pay the extra points and take this one.
Yeah, I think
this one's slower.
Yeah, you lose an inch, whatever. I think to me the problem with the other, I still think it costs too much for what it is. It doesn't do much.
Too much compared to this one.
Correct. Even for what it is. It's not fast enough to be a true chaff unit.
I guess it could drop down. They probably should drop down to all to 120.
Yeah. Because it's not that resilient. It doesn't put out that much damage unless you're lucky. Can't stand up to a lot. Can't march.
Yeah.
If chariots marched, things would be different, but they don't.
You'd see a lot more chariots if they could march.
Yes.
All right. So it brings us to
the sky sloop, the third in the family of chariots. Okay, but you can only have 2 of these, except for that character guy one. So same stats as a chariot, strength 5, 4 and 4, only light armor and mounts protection 6, so it's not too resilient. 2 crew, 2 spears again, a light lance, no big deal. The hawk has 2 strength 4 attacks. Same speed 9 as long as it's not walking 2. But it's a hard target, so it gets a -1 to be shot at. And it comes with one of 2 options. You can take the Storm Pennant, which basically gives you lightning attacks, and you get the ice and fire. You still have
which is 2d6 strength 3.
Is that what it is? 2d6 strength 3?
2d6 strength 3.
At power level 5, so probably range 18. Cosmology, it's range 18, yeah.
And there was the special thing, 2d6 strength 3, ice and fire. You can do it 2d6 strength 3 with flaming and divine, or 2d6 strength 3 with AP 3.
That one's the better one, yeah.
The AP 3.
But at power level 5, and it's a range of 18, right? Yeah.
Range is 18.
So it doesn't shoot so far. It does kind of put your chariot at risk if you have it, but it's a decent spell.
Yeah.
Then you have the Sky Reaper. We'll find with this asterisk. Oh.
What?
It counts towards Peacekeepers. Okay.
Yeah.
Of course it does because it's shooting. Range 24, strength 5, volley gun, range of fire 4, armor piercing 1, quick to fire. So.
Not volley gun. Oh, it is volley gun. Yeah, volley gun. You don't pay for multi-shot.
Correct. Okay. And it's quick to fire, so you don't pay for movement. So all you do is pay for long range because you're probably going to keep it at long range. Plus the skill 4. So strength 5, it's basically to sit back and pepper somebody. You don't really want this thing to, and it costs how many points again?
290?
240, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is, the Lion Chariot's a purposeful close combat one. This one is a purposeful dance and shoot one.
Yeah, and it's also got hard target.
You're right. Make better to make it shoot.
Correct.
Whereas the other chariot doesn't do anything well.
Correct. What do we got? Moving on. Giant Eagle, 100 points.
It's 5:30. I know it's. Only. should I get your shawl?
You should. Thank you.
Yeah.
Only 2 of these per army, because if they died any faster,
they wouldn't be able to replenish themselves.
Would be gone.
Yes.
This is not based on anything except how fast they can replenish themselves.
I guess that's what it is.
Because 2 per battle will die.
Yes.
So it's 100 points, 1 model. Man, I've never seen a unit of eagles. I guess you could do it. may add additional 4 for 60 points a model.
Yeah, they're inexpensive as additional.
Make them so they can't fly, and then watch them hop around on one foot would be fun and kind of amusing. They are weapon skill 5, strength 4, tough 4,
only
2 attacks, and 3 wounds.
Yeah.
Fly 9. They're a nice redirector to hide behind your unit.
They're one of the best redirectors in the game because they're a single base and they fly. You can position them well.
And they fly fast.
I must admit, when they have the additional options, particularly when they could have the lightning reflexes and the
and the
armor piercing, I like those options, especially see those big talons on an eagle.
Right.
I kind of wish they would have kept those on it. I think maybe if they had, you may have possibly seen units of them.
Think so?
I said may possibly. It's a stretch, but
I didn't see you going out and buying a bunch of eagles.
I've got 6 eagles, so I don't need to buy any more.
That's because you've got 3 armies.
Yeah.
Moving on. Elder Service. We have the Queen's Guard. 5 models may take an additional 10 at 28 points a model. These are weapon skill 5, ballistic skill 5. Everything else is standard elf.
Yes.
They have longbow. They have the moonlight arrows.
Which are the strength 4 arrows.
4 all the time.
With a ballistic skill 5 guy.
Which is nice. They have light armor, which is almost
whatever.
Why bother? Martial discipline, lightning reflex, scoring.
It's interesting they gave the scoring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can take a spear for 2
Yes.
points a model. I don't think you are going to do this, but it's available. And standard command.
Most of the other guys, elite guys, can take 2-hand weapons, so it's interesting. And then, of course, you can take the great weapon with the Dread Elves. That these guys have the the spear, just a different option.
A different option.
I mean, it gives you armor piercing.
It does.
Yeah.
And I guess if Cav wants to come after you, you can.
Yeah.
You got that going for you.
Yeah. I mean, but you're not big enough to.
You only can take 15, so it's not going to help you fighting in ranks.
No, because you already get the.
But I guess 2 points a guy for AP1.
If you got the points, maybe.
Yeah, I guess.
They're not for fighting.
You don't want them fighting anyway. If they're fighting, you've already lost.
Yeah.
Or you're not anyway.
They're for shooting.
You got a problem.
And usually you can keep them behind guys and just volley fire and.
Yep.
With your strength 4 arrows and.
Strength 4 moonlight arrows.
Make people cry. No, it's a really.
It's a nice unit. I see it a lot. It's around a lot.
It may be. I mean, for the points, I do think it's the best bow armed unit in the game.
Quite possibly.
Yeah, I don't think the Sylvan Elves. I don't. When we talk about the Sylvan Elves, you'll see what I'm talking about. Because of the points that they have to pay for their abilities.
Okay.
Comparatively speaking, it's just strength 4 covers a multitude of sins plus the rerolls.
It does.
It's flaming and magic stuff. It's a very nice archer unit. I'm sorry, scroll back again.
Nope.
We're an elder, so it only counts against elder service. So yeah, I don't because you have this unit.
20 models per army.
Understood, but because of this unit, this is why I don't see why you'd ever take regular archers.
Oh, okay.
Unless you have nothing else to do with your core points and you're not maximizing your elder service in some other way.
I've seen this used as a wizard bunker, but I think the models are too pricey for that.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'd want to use this as a.
Done.
I think one of the units we're going to get to in a minute would be a better wizard bunker, but it's just such a good shooting unit to go with the Reaper bolt throwers.
All right, moving on.
And we're into peacekeepers. So the Grey Watchers, which is basically the skirmish archers, another weapon skill 5, ballistic skill 5 shooting unit. Okay. Everything else is standard for elves. Has longbows, the bitter arrow, so these are the ones you can be poisoned if you don't
volley fire.
If you don't do volley fire.
Yeah, but you only got 10. Okay.
Yes, well, a lot of the skirmish guys have been limited. So.
Yeah, losing the volley fire is probably not that big.
Yes.
Except you're paying to shoot over your own guys now. Okay.
Well, I mean, it's just gives you an ability depending on what you need at the time. My shooting blocking. Oh no, it's not. So, and you don't need poison against a lot of things anyway. So,
correct.
The light armor, whatever. So
they can take a shield with it. So they can get
that's
true.
5. Martialist lightning reflexes. They're skirmishers and they're scouts. So I always Yeah, I'm a believer that if you can take scouts in an army, you've got to take at least one unit, if not two.
Yeah, to make your opponent think about it.
It makes your I don't know how many times it makes your opponent reconsider their deployment. If you've caused your opponent to set up one unit differently than they would have normally, you've changed their plan.
Yeah, I'll see so many people that'll
stretch
to make sure they cover, to make sure you can't get behind it, even though it's my scouting unit is a unit of grotlings or whatever.
Whatever it is, they're just so afraid of it. And I mean, even these guys, what are they going to do? 5 of them, So they spread all out, making themselves more vulnerable so you can get to their war machines that aren't protected, So it's just so amazing when you see that, Of course, if they castle in the corner, you're annoyed, but
of course.
But it can take a shield, or they can take paired weapons. This is more common with some of the skirmish guys.
So they are weapon skill 5.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know. I think you keep them as cheap as you can.
Generally. The thing is with the paired weapons, that's your weapon skill 5, hitting on 2s.
Yeah.
It helps you defend yourself against
a little bit against light.
Light stuff. You don't have any armor piercing is a thing. So with light cav now, so many of them having 4 up armor, it does make it a tough choice. But if you have the points, maybe depends how many of these you're going to take too. But they can have a champion. 36 points. They're not cheap.
No.
But I like them.
Okay. Moving on, we have the Seaguard Reaper. Single model. This is the...
And actually, if I have a mage, I'd rather have him running in this unit because...
Ooh, they're pricey as hell.
They are, but at least there's only so many of them.
Oh, yeah.
You can
wipe out your unit.
It could, but I'd rather wipe out this than the bigger unit, yeah.
Seaguard Reaper is 180 points, single model. This is the Reaper Bow, the Elven Bolt Thrower, War Machine. It's fantastic.
Oh, this is interesting. This doesn't count towards Elder Service.
This does not. This is in the Peacekeeper category.
Yeah, okay.
It's got the, same as the other Elven Bolt Thrower we talked about. It's got the fires as a normal bolt thrower with strength 6 penetrating, or as a volley gun, strength 4 AP1.
It's also limited to 3, correct?
It is limited to 3.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic war machine. It's not a game-winning war machine. It's just a very good, solid war machine.
It might be against an elite, low model count armored army.
Right.
So, but it's a wonderful war machine.
For the most part,
it's not OP like a mortar.
It's nowhere near. Yeah.
But
it's not a mortar. It's not a scrapbolt.
Right.
It is, and it's not an Empire volley gun thing.
Correct.
Scary as hell thing. It is what it is. It's just a nice piece.
It really it helps the army without dominating, especially with only having you limited to 3. I mean, if you're like 6 or something, it'd be crazy. Ancient allies, only 20%. This is where the big Riblies lie. First one is the Fire Phoenix, 380 points, limited of 3 per army. Yeah, good luck with that. Flies 9, weapon skill 5, strength 5, toughness 5, 5 wounds, initiative 4, 4 attacks. It's not the most powerful fighting. A lot of the flying monsters are not anyway, but not the most powerful fighting monster. Gets magical attacks. Does have a ward save of 5 up, which is
nice.
It's nice to have. And it's got Fireborn, so flaming attacks, which you don't see that many shooting flaming attacks, but when you got them, it's nice to have a 2 up.
Magic attacks.
It's got flaming attacks, so somebody's hiding around in the field and they're not going to be as happy. It's got the flame swoop. It's a sweeping attack. The enemy suffers D6 hits and additional D3 hits for each rank after the first, and they're strength 4. So, a big, bus unit. This thing can clip it. It can, in theory, put a lot of hurting on it.
Right.
Or a good amount of hurting, I should say.
Should be able to.
It seems like a lot, but it's D6 plus basically on average, 2 hits per additional rank. So you have 5 extra, so it's 10. So you're talking about maybe 13.
Strength 4 hits.
Strength 4 hits is nice,
especially against an Elven unit.
Yeah,
that's
Elven.
9
that's
wounds.
Yeah, it's 9 wounds. Orcs, it's going to be 6 or 7.
Yeah, it's the opposite end of that.
So so it's nice. It's not going to, unless you have a skirmish unit. It's not going to. It's not going to chase them off unless you roll well and you happen to run to a skirmish unit.
Correct.
It's got the rebirth, so the first time it basically dies. You have to roll a d6 on a roll of 5 or 3 if the character is on the thing. Place a marker on the center of the model's final position. If the roll fails, the model counts as a casualty. Otherwise, at the start of the remaining move subphase the next player turn, the owner places the fire phoenix model, including its rider, if it has one, back on the table. The center model must be placed within 3 inches of the original, so not exactly in the same place, and more than one away from other models and pass between facing a direction. If it's not possible, the fire phoenix cannot be returned as counts as casualty. So your strategy here is
go jump on that spot.
Go jump on that spot if you can. So you have to be careful if you have this thing out, on the flank or whatever. And then the return model basically comes back as
one wound,
as it was, but returns with only 1 wound left.
Okay.
So maybe it returns and you're probably going to fly away with it and try to hide it.
Right. But you get 1 shot to bring it back, 1/3 chance of it coming back.
Right.
Or better if you've got a character on it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know that I would count on that coming back, but
yeah, that's not.
And then we go on.
Maybe with the character, it's a different story.
Yeah.
But it's just a way maybe to save point. It's really to save the points, I think, because 1 wound, you don't want it out there anymore.
You come back and you fly off and hide.
Yeah.
Then we come to the Frost Phoenix.
The colder brother.
Only 0 to 3 per army as well.
Yes.
So can you have 3 of each?
If you can fit the points.
You can't fit the points. Anyway.
It's a really large game.
This one's movement 8. It's a little bit slower.
400 points. It's more expensive.
Weapon skill, and it's more expensive because the other one was 380.
Yep.
Weapon skill 5, strength 5, tough 5, 5 wounds, 3 initiative, 5 attacks. Well, an extra attack.
And 1 less initiative, correct.
Yeah, so a little bit slower, but 1 extra attack.
Mm-hmm.
It's got an innate defense of 5 with a 5-up ward save.
Right. Remember the character was, I think, 4-up, 4-up.
Yes. Has fly 8, gets magic attacks. Here's the big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Enemy units in base contact suffer -3 to initiative, so it's initiative 3 being lower doesn't matter.
Right.
And -1 strength.
To a minimum of 1.
To a minimum of 1. But even the strongest guys pounding on you,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, most stuff's strength 4, strength 5 now. You're tough 5, that brings that strength down. That's very nice.
And you're a flyer, so you should be picking most of your fights
you
anyway.
Pick which one you want to go to. Yeah, I like this one a lot. It doesn't have the overfly attack that this one does.
Correct.
The flame swoop, and it can't come back. But I like this one a lot.
Well, just the thing is, the kind of within your model must suffer -3 initiative, minus attack.
Yeah.
It doesn't say against the monster.
Correct.
So
it's
any unit. So it's a fantastic. I mean, it's kind of like an ogre kind of freezy buff.
Yep.
So it's just really nice.
You jump in there, it's a debuff to your enemy. It's really good. Anyway, and -1 strength. Yeah, I like this a lot.
Yes.
And
it doesn't say you can't stack them either.
Suffer -3 to initiative and -1 to strength, both, but the minimum of 1 I guess covers that for the most part. But you're right.
But if you got 2 of them, you can take a lot of things to 1.
-2 strength.
Yeah, -2 strength and -6 initiative.
No. Enemy units in base contact with
1 or more. You're right. Yeah.
Suffer -3.
So you can't stack it. Yeah.
Work. Okay.
That's good.
I'll edit that out.
Yeah.
Not really.
Now leave it there.
I really.
We're old. We're allowed to babble and say
What
stupid
do you
things.
think I'm going to edit? You think I'm actually going to do an edit on one of these things? We don't do edits.
We're supposed to be
sorry.
telling people that we actually care about our production quality.
We actually care about our production quality, and
we spend all the time necessary to edit our videos.
We do all the time necessary. That's a good way to put that. So there you have it. That's the Elven army. I like the High Elf army. I think it's another army that's in a good spot right now, from what I've seen.
Yeah, I give it a thumbs up overall. I think it has a problem like a lot of armies have with the new organization.
Yeah, and the counting double.
Yeah, well, you have the counting double, which is annoying, and a lot of units that no longer seem to have a role because they're just better choices that come out of the same category.
Right.
And with the limits on certain categories, it just means there just doesn't seem to be a lot of point in taking a lot of things except, I have the models, I don't have those other ones, I have to play those. I suspect, you probably run into some proxies just because I don't have this painted yet, but I want them to be this. So
here's what I'm seeing, though, that's kind of bugging me a little bit. Let's go here, back up. So the Phoenixes were 380 and 400.
Right.
And this guy is paying 170 points for the privilege to ride one.
Right.
And he's gaining +1 ward save off of it.
Correct.
Magic resistance 1, divine and magical attacks.
Right.
And he's paying a bonus. I mean, he's paying additional.
Correct.
To ride these things. That's a.
Yeah, they basically priced this guy out.
What's that?
They priced him out.
What do you mean priced him out?
They priced him so you don't want to take him.
Yeah, he's bringing up your Phoenix's save by 1.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, because he's on a ridden monster. That doesn't go.
Sorry? Yeah, it does. It's...
The bearer gains 4-up war save, not the bearer's
model.
model.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
So you gain this, but
I
it's
think
gone?
I think the ridden Phoenix, if you remember, had a 4-up armor and a 4-up ward save.
I thought it had a 5. But...
No, the ridden one, not the
the
regular
okay,
monster
one.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, you're paying 170 points for a +1 ward save on your Phoenix.
I think the guy's got already as a ridden monster. You're paying extra for
Well, he's
Phoenix.
the only one that can ride it. So
yeah.
I mean,
that's true.
The only thing you can compare it
that's
to
true.
is the price of a Phoenix.
That's
a
true.
real Phoenix.
And you're getting MR1.
So you're getting MR1 and a couple of things, the divine attacks, magic,
and the ability to take extra flying monster guys. I think that's probably why they're taxing it so much.
Yeah, that's what. I guess we'll have to find that out. I'm going to ask about that.
Yeah, for the monster mash.
I'll ask somebody how this counts because these, according to what I'm seeing, don't count.
Yeah, they don't have an asterisk, so.
And they don't say anything here.
Right, it doesn't say it counts.
But this has to come out of some point cost.
For the character.
But they don't say anywhere. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to come out of the cost. You know what I'm saying? I mean, according to this comes out of no point cost.
Correct. And if you go to the mounts.
The character mounts or regular
character mounts?
The character mounts are here. So what are you saying? So if you go to the character mount, Fire Phoenix right here. Count towards characters. Additionally, the mount counts toward ancient allies.
Right.
So he does count for both.
But the other ones have the asterisk and this one doesn't. So yeah, it's an interesting.
Who has the asterisks?
When you have the characters without that ability.
I don't think none of them can ride it.
Oh, you're right. It wasn't there, was it?
He's the only guy that can ride it.
Yeah, the other guys had
no one else can ride it.
Had the dragon.
Correct. So I think it's coming out of both, no matter what.
So it must come out of both.
Yeah, I don't think they bother to answer that.
Oh, I think what it is it's coming out of both, but you're not limited to take. A lot of guys, when you have a
you're not a 0-1 thing.
You're not a 0-1 thing. That's what I'm thinking.
But you're going to be because of the points you're soaking up in this thing.
Probably so.
Because you're paying the 200 points for the character, 170 to make him this.
Yeah.
Give him this ability to ride this thing, 400 points for that.
They should put the asterisk on the above though to make it clearer though.
It should say here with the rest of these. It should tell you that it costs out of both. Comes out of both. Correct. Which it's not. Anyway, like I was saying before, though, this is the Highborn Elves have always been a nice army. They're still a nice army. They've got a lot of nice things going for them.
They do.
As far as, like you said, they need a few things to get a little bit redefined as the role.
Some of the honors are a little overpriced.
And some of the honors...
Some of the magic items are not very good. Some are very good.
The magic items, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was kind of that whole break on that magic item. Some were... Yeah. This thing is really good. The Aspid Scholar.
Yeah. You can actually use magic with this army, which a lot of armies don't bother any longer. Because you have enough pluses to help it along. Because you have a lot of mounted options and armor options, you can make your characters very resilient.
Yep, I agree. Anyway,
and you have a nice spear. Wish you had to be on foot to use it, but
yeah, I really think this army and the Dread Elf army are from what I'm seeing, pretty much on par with each other. They're both nice armies. They're both seem to have good internal balance.
Well, I think the elite infantry in this army is better than the Dread Elves.
But think so?
Yeah, I think.
Well, the Sword Masters are so good.
The Sword Masters, I think they're better than anything the Dread Elves have.
Yeah, the Sword Masters are just so good.
I'm not saying they're 10 times better, but I think they're very good compared to other elite infantry.
Yeah, especially at that price, only 12.5 points a model.
Yeah, old points. Yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting 2 attacks for that price that strength and that weapon skill. Very nice, very nice. I'd be surprised if somebody's not going all mounted. That is, I'd be surprised if which this army I think can pull off to a certain degree because
it's got the heavy cav and
because of the monsters. I mean, monsters and cav, you can make I think a viable army. I'm not gonna say it's a top tier army, but you can make a viable army. If you're playing the foot guys, I can't imagine not having a
Sword
block
masters.
of these,
Yeah.
or if you're playing MSU, 4 units of these.
Yeah, 4 small units of them.
Yeah.
4 units of 10 or so. Yeah.
Depending on the strategy you're playing,
Yeah, I agree. It's a anyway, it's a really good unit.
Yeah,
And these guys are kind of they really don't have a purpose much anymore.
None of the elvish light cavalry really has a purpose. The core, the base one. I mean, because there's always an elite one that does it better.
Right. All right. Well, that's going to do it.
Okay.
Thank you for listening.
Until the next time.